Welcome back to the secret underground lair. Today we're going to cut this shelf off, and I've decided overnight that I'm going to cut it off long. If I don't like it, then I can trim a little bit more. So I'll err on the side of caution, make it a little bit longer than it needs to be. Then we'll take care of some of the final filling, like these little cracks that we've got down in this area here. We'll take care of those. And then do final assembly. And if we're fortunate, might even get a coat of polyurethane on this. That will be today's adventure. What I've noticed on this piece is there is a crack right here. So I'm going to put some CA glue in there just to help keep that together. Yeah. Then we'll do a little bit of sanding on the back edge, sanding on the ends, a little bit of filler up in here. So we'll do a little bit of treatment on this piece just to kind of get it ready for final assembly. Put you on fast forward as I go through all of that. With the top now cut to length and sanded on the ends, I'm going to put it back into the piece, and we'll figure out where we want to, how and where we want to mount the screws to hold this in place. Okay, so now that I have that in place, and I want to put the screws from underneath, what I'm going to do is take a couple boards. I'm going to clamp them on the legs like this, so that when I flip the table upside down, I can get the shelf to land exactly where I want it. All right, I got a board clamped here and a board clamped here. I'll just flip the table upside down, and we can start thinking about drilling holes to hold the bottom shelf onto the legs. During this part of the operation too, I want to make sure that the leg is centered in the slot that we cut here. So I might use some playing cards just to kind of give me that gap. I'll show you what I mean up close over here. So if I take a look at this leg, you can see that I have quite a gap here. It's about 1/8 of an inch, and there's no gap on this side. So I do want to make sure that I wind up with a little gap there and a little gap there. So I'll use some playing cards just to even that up and hold it in place while we drill our pilot hole through here into the back of the leg. So I'll do that for each of the 4 legs. I have marked where I want to put that hole, and I'm the same technique as I was using on the top. Going to start by making a cut with a Forstner bit. I'm about 5/8 of an inch away from the leg, so I'm going to start here, then tip back just to drill a little bit of a pocket, just enough to hide the shoulder and head of that screw. So I'm not going to go quite as deep as I did on the other ones, but I'll go down a little bit, and then we'll drill the hole the rest of the way using a 1/8 inch bit in the drill. Whenever I see a Joker card, I think of my departed father-in-law. He used to say, "Yeah, you're a joker. You got lost in the shuffle." Just a little Jimism there. It's funny how things remind you of someone in obscure ways. It's a good memory, though. Actually, just before flipping the piece over, I'm just going over every leg, just taking the edge off the bottom of the leg, just a little chamfer on it. It helps prevent tear out. A pretty quick and simple operation. All right, now flip the table over and see what it looks like. And there is the table. Still a little bit of sanding to do. I need to sand this end, go over the whole thing with 220. I put a little bit of filler in the top where I had that wormhole that we encountered earlier with the worm in it, and a couple other little minor blemishes. And of course, I want to just take care of this little issue that I caused down here. Can't really see it for the light. So I have a hole that comes through here and goes into the leg there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of filler in that. Clear that up. Apart from that, I got these ends are sanded apart from 220. So I'm just going to give it some like I say, sand the ends off this. Go over the whole thing with 220, and then we can apply some polyurethane. Neat. All right, I got the ends sanded. Did a little bit more sanding on the top surface here, but I'm going to let the filler that I put in just set a little bit longer before I come out and do our final 220 sand. I have to take these apart and glue them together. In fact, I should do that right now. I'm going to glue those guys together. Yes, I'll glue that together, then go get a bite of lunch. Okay, head edge sanded, legs are now glued in place. I'm hungry, time for a bite of lunch. All right, we are all wiped down, sanded down, wiped down, ready to put on our first coat of urethane. This is a polyurethane blend that we're putting on. So I'm going to put it on the underside first, and I'll flip it over and do the top side. Let that set. We'll give it a sand at 220 and then apply a second coat. All right, we're gonna let that sit for a couple hours. Come back, we'll give it a light sand with 220 and then final coat. And that's gonna look very nice. So our first coat has had a chance to dry. This is a little bit rougher than I wanted it to be. And it occurred to me as I was putting this on, I was using the wrong brush. I was using a synthetic brush, which doesn't lay down the urethane nearly as nice as a genuine horsehair brush. So I've got a proper brush for the second coat. So I'll use that. But first, we'll give this a sand down with some 220. But the grain really does pop with a little coat of urethane on it. So I'm quite happy with the result of this. All right, more sanding. Okay, that is our piece all sanded down to 220. Ready for our top coat of urethane. Now before I put that on, of course, I'm going to vacuum this off and then wipe it down. I don't want to blow it, that puts too much dust in the air. Now just a quick wipe down. Okay, we are now ready for our top coat of urethane. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using a natural hair brush instead of a synthetic brush on this coat. And I wish I had done that on the first coat. It's amazing, it just goes down so much better with this brush. And I am being fairly generous with the coat again. I like to be generous with this lacquer. I don't like putting it on too thin. There we are. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a console table from a tree in the field to a piece of furniture. I like it. That's one of the reasons that I wanted a sawmill, is so that I could build furniture like this, right from right from the raw material. So mill it, get the tree, mill it, dry it in a kiln, cut it into dimensional lumber, and then make a piece of furniture like this. Yeah, something very gratifying about it. Let me give you an overall a view of the grain here. So here's a look at our top. Just really, really nice. Lots of interesting character to it and color. Very pleased with it. Going down on the legs, we've got some very interesting coloration on the legs. Bottom, yeah, just some beautiful wood. So much variety in it. Each leg is a little different. Very interesting coloration up here in this leg. Even the end grain has some interesting little bits in the top of it. So there you have it. That'll be a video for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the